Today I'm replacing the water pump and thermostat on a 2014 BMW X5. This is a 35i, so it's got the twin turbo straight six. It's actually harder to do in these larger chassis SUVs than it is in a 3 Series or a 5 Series, which is kind of unusual with the same motor. With those, you can drop the pump and the thermostat out the bottom of the car. It'll fit between the subframe and the sway bar. On this, it won't fit out the bottom. Tried every which way imaginable, without removing a lot of things. So what you have to do is remove the cooling fan, and then you pull it from the top after you have everything loose at the bottom, all the hoses and bolts off. So start from the top, pull this off, pull this upper brace off. There's just these four bolts here. These just unclip from it, and this thing just pulls out by hand. It's just little plastic clips. You can get a screwdriver in there and pry a little bit and it pops right off. Pull that out of the way, and then you can get to the plug here for the cooling fan, and then with the plug undone, I'll show you the next thing. Alright, so now that I have all of that stuff removed, you can see how this fan is secured. It's these little clips here down low. See if I can get something to point at them. Underneath this plug, there's a little plastic clip right here. I'm pointed at it. You can push that in with your fingers, the top portion of it, and then pull up on the fan assembly, and then it releases. Once you pull up on it, you can, on both sides, once you push in on that and pull that up, you can take these brackets that are attached to this fan, and it actually pivots, so you can flip it towards the fan, and then you can pull it past the upper radiator hose without pulling the upper radiator hose off. So I'm going to undo those right now and pull up on this fan assembly. Alright, now that the fan's out of the way, right here, you just get it up underneath the car and pull the front belly pan off. Just a bunch of, you're just going to need a 8mm socket. Alright, with that pan out of the way, you can see the water pump. It's right there. 2 hoses connect to it. You can get to those with a 7mm universal 1/4-inch drive socket. Release both of those. One plug right there. You can reach up there and undo that plug, and then 3 bolts that hold it to the side of the engine. What I would do is first take the clamps off and pry those hoses off. I have a bucket right here. I'm going to catch the coolant in, and that's it. Release those, then take those screws off, unplug it, and then I'm going to lower the car back down. Alright, so I have those screws loose, the 2 hoses off, and the plug unplugged. I lowered the car back down, and you can grab it from the top and kind of pull it towards the radiator. Now, it fits right out through here. You just have to be real careful not to bump your radiator. If you're real paranoid about it, you can slip a piece of cardboard there or something like that just to make sure you don't damage any of the fins. But I just very, very carefully just pull it straight up out of there. You can move these AC lines away. Once they're unclipped from that cooling fan assembly, they're pretty easy to. They're flexible. So once that's out of the way, you can see what has to happen with this thermostat. Actually, easier than the earlier models. It's not really mounted anyway, other than this lower radiator hose. It's part of the lower radiator hose, kind of. It's the lower radiator hose outlet is where it's connected here. So you unplug the that sensor, undo these 2 hose clamps, undo this clip, undo this other clip, and then you can just carefully put a little bit of tension with a screwdriver right here and pull it away from the radiator, and just loosen up these hoses, pull them off, and that's it. You can also pull that from the top. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, now that the thermostat and water pump are both out of the way, I'm going to take the new water pump and drop it down there so that it's kind of resting where it's gonna go. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, perfect. I'm not gonna be able to really mount it this way anyways, but I'm gonna kind of get it down there, and then before I put the thermostat on, thermostat can go on after. It'll be a lot easier to get to the upper water pump bolt with the thermostat out of the way. So I'm gonna set that in there, lift it up, and put the 3 mounting screws for the water pump on, reattach the hoses, and plug that in. So that's it. You can see the rest of this job is pretty straightforward. Once I put those 2 hoses on the water pump, plug it in, mount it, lower it down, stick this thermostat back on from the top, everything is pretty self-explanatory once you get it up out of the way. So that's it. You can kind of see how the job looks. It's not too bad. Hope this helps somebody. Thanks.